Hello, everyone, and welcome to the FCBDU podcast, your backstage pass to the magical world of Fat Chance Belly Dance style. I'm your host, DeAnna, and I invite you to join me along with a variety of special guests and experts as we explore the beauty, intricacies, and lifestyle topics of this captivating dance style. Grab a comfortable seat, tune in, and let's embark on a journey through the rhythms, movements, and history that make Fat Chance Belly Dance style an enchanting experience like no other. This is episode 1 of Goal Setting, Planning, and Turning Your Dreams into Reality. In this episode, myself and Lacey will introduce you to the importance of creating goals and look at why some goals are a little more challenging than others. So I encourage you to make this an interactive episode, grab paper and some pen, and let's make your dreams a reality. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. So let's do a quick introductions of ourselves.
Okay, so my name is Lacey Sanchez, and I am the director of Wild Garden Belly Dance based here in Florida. I have been belly dancing for like 20 plus million years. It's fine. And I am a super excited and honored member of FCBDU, making transitions to online. I really, really love this format that DeAnna and I have started a few months ago. I think that she and I had some personal chats about kind of the pandemic and how we were feeling and how much what you want to call it, a benefit that we got from like lectures and podcasts and things like that was kind of where our brain was. So I love being able to offer these. It's kind of my jam. I think it was the missing piece for all the years that I had a studio and wanted to add more info. I didn't always have the time. Goals. Today is all about goals. So introduction for that is I love goal setting. Love it. Not always the best follow through. So I'm super excited to share things about that. When it comes to business, like I'm all business and it's good going and I can make things happen and make dreams come true. But when it comes to like my personal life, I'm kind of a wreck. But this last like year or two, I've gotten some really great methodology and found some things that I'm excited to share. So I think that life is what you want it to be, right? Like you are completely in control. Most of the time, I mean, we interact with other beings and other energies. So like you gotta like bump into that sometimes, but for the most part, you can really make what you want happen. Like, and I know that that sounds like a very like la-da-da idea, but I believe it. And I've seen it to be true. I live with a dude that manifests stuff all day long. Like he says it and it is true. So trying to learn from him as well, which I have some things to talk about that he shared too. So that's my intro.
So hi everyone, my name is DeAnna. I'm the owner director. I'm the CEO of Fat Chance Belly Dance Style University. I'm just going to go with that. I'm the CEO here at FCBD. Thank you so much for joining us. Sounds so official.
It's true.
So yeah, I've been dancing. Oh gosh, this style since 2004, I believe. So quite a while. And long story short about FCBDU, when I started teaching online in 2019 and was having a really great time, and people wanted to be able to access some of my previous classes once they kind of heard about my classes. And so I had been looking for an online platform. And then when the pandemic hit and it felt like everybody like dispersed. And I was like, but wait, we're supposed to be together, you know? And so I just really wanted to invite as many of my amazing, fantastic instructor friends that I knew to create this online community that really showcased the beauty of what it's like to be a part of a part of this community and not just be all dispersed everywhere. Yeah. So I'm just really, really excited to have that opportunity and just keep growing the platform. And as far as goal setting and goal planning, oh my God, I'm so excited about this topic because I think it stems from, first of all, I'm like very much an organization planning type of person anyway, but I spent the first 16 years of my career in the corporate world where it was like budgets and forecasting and planning your employees, not only just planning your own career growth, but I managed a team of 10 accountants that I was planning their career growth and helping them achieve their goals. And so you can't really do that without having plans in place, but structures and follow through and follow up. And so, and also ways to not be overwhelmed, right? Because you have to organize your own stuff your company's stuff and all the individual people that you're helping succeed. So I'm really excited about today because we have some ways that you can kind of think through goals, because I'm also all about manifesting.
Yeah.
I strongly, strongly believe that you take your life into your own hands, and
if you don't, somebody else will.
Right. If you don't, someone else will. Exactly. And so, yeah, how to manifest the things into being and the mindset to get there. So we have a lot to cover today.
Yeah, we do.
Related to that. Yeah. But I thought we could start with like why it's important to even set goals, you know, and what they are.
Sure. Because it sounds like a really good tagline. Like nothing annoys me more than like New Year's resolution. Bleh. Like all of it annoys me to no get out. So it's one of those like, I believe in it, but I also don't like the commercialization of it. And I was talking to some friends like about us doing this and kind of trying to get, because I love to like, you know, try to be like, how do you feel about it and stuff to prepare for our chats. And that was kind of the overall feel. Like people get turned off by the concept because of the commercialization of the ideas. And so I think at the core, like goal setting, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just convenient that we have a start happening, right? But goal setting is like whenever, like it doesn't matter. Yeah.
It's true. It's true. And we're doing this, you know, now because it's like the cliche thing to do to prepare for the first of the year, but also the things that we're going to teach you today and go over are going to be things that you can use throughout your life of goal setting. Absolutely. It can be something that's like, I need to get this done by the end of the month or by the end of the week. So it's not just about New Year's resolutions. It's basically about just kind of getting into the habit of doing a few things. And again, just changing your mindset to make that work for you. Absolutely. So something that Lacey said, this is why I create goals. Something that Lacey said was, if you don't do it, someone else is going to do it for you. I am here to live life to its fullest. I am here to experience as much as I can experience, not just let life happen to me. Like, oh, well, this is going on now and this is going on. No. I am like, grab it by the horns and let's go for it. And so in order to do that, I feel like I need to like have a direction. Where am I going? I'm really great at like, what is the end result? And I will help you get there kind of a person.
Yeah.
And so that's why I like creating goals, is because I don't want to just leave. I don't want to get to the end of my life and be like, well, that's what happened to me. You know what I mean? I want to go along the way and be like, I'm going to do this now, and I'm going to try this now, and I'm going to go here now. And so that's where I started, I think, really enjoying the process and the concept of goal setting.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, for me, like, I think I was just sharing with DeAnna, like, we all know Lacey's a little woo-woo-y. So it's full moon in Gemini today, and that's my rising. So I'm feeling a little like, yes, this, but also this, but this, but also this. And that's kind of like a big part of why I goal set. I'm all over the place most of the time, but my brain is, 5,000 tabs and the thing. And so, however, I really like structure and order. And I think it was just from a really young age. My life was chaotic. We moved all the time. Nothing was secure. Nothing was grounded. From being very small, organization was like, right? Like it gave me centering, and it gave me focus, and it gave me drive, to the point of like how I keep my space and things like I've got funny stories of how I used to keep my room really clean, and my mom would come in and move something just to see if I'd know, and it would freak me out. Right. And so it's fine. I wasn't traumatized at all. But in terms of like organization, it was the same way. I was overwhelmed with my business, like absolutely grateful and terrified, like at the same time. So that idea, that exact concept that DeAnna talked about, like grabbing it by the horns, that's me in my notebook. So if I can get it out of here and onto paper, then it's real, it's manageable, it's being able to be chunked out. It is no longer this overwhelming feeling. It's now just a problem to be solved. So like that, I'm all about it. It's like, what do we need? Poof, what do you need? Poof, what do you need? Like that part I can like, that's like a superpower. Like if it can get there, but the process to get out of my head and get it into a goal, get it into a plan, sometimes can be messy. You have the permission and the abilities to make whatever you want happen. It's just sometimes that big thing. And I know I'm super excited because I got to get a peek on DeAnna's notes. Like the thing you want sometimes feels so big that you talk yourself out of it before you ever start. And I am very guilty of that. So the trick is to go big goal and then how, walk it back. Yeah. Walk it back. And by the time you get to where you are, like, it's time. It's time and some steps. And that's it.
So I wanted to go into, and Lacey started talking about this, but a little bit of like, why are some goals more challenging to attain than others, right?
Yeah.
And so this is what it boils down to. It boils down to motivation, but not in the way that you think. It's not like, I got to keep motivating myself to reach the goal. It's not about that. What I want you to do is think about why you have created this goal, right? So I worked with a team of accountants, and we would sit down and we would plan out twice a year, actually plan out the goals. And oftentimes they would say, my goal is to be in this position by the end of next year. And I'm like, okay, so why do you want to be in that position?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, and 9 times out of 10, it was because that's what they thought that was the next thing that they were supposed to do. Like, I've done this. So now when I look around the world, the next thing I'm supposed to do is this. You know, it's kind of like that concept of like, I'm supposed to get married, and then I'm supposed to have children, and then I'm supposed to do the thing, and then I'm supposed to, and it's like, not everybody, that doesn't work for everybody, right? So think about why you are creating the goal that you're creating. Is it because it's something you think you are supposed to do because that's kind of like the norm? Is it because that's not going to be the motivator for you, right? It's got to be something that you really want.
Yeah, it's going to come from you and not be external. I think that's really important. Yeah,
exactly. And then also, here's a big thing. Oftentimes we see someone else being successful and we think that that's what we want. And so often I hear of people creating goals that mimic what they think someone else is doing because they see that other person as happy and successful. Right?
Let's talk about that.
Right. Well, Lacey's teaching online, so maybe this was a huge one this whole year. Maybe I should teach online, but I don't like to teach online. But I can't. Well, then don't. You know. So that's a huge thing. Go ahead, Lacey.
Yeah, no, I love the grass is greener conversation. Right. So I'll equate it to something that's a little bit, I think, yes, but no kind of a thing, right? Like, when else do we do this? So I talk about this in one of the classes, I think here on FCBDU, but let's say you see a dancer on stage and you're like, I want to be like Carolina. Who doesn't, right? So like, I want to dance like Carolina. Well, you're not her, so you can't be her, but what qualities make you want to dance like that? Trying to pull in those qualities. So when I see people, so the online is a perfect example because I have been very candid in my struggle with teaching online, but also wanting community and to reach out, right? So like, the biggest thing that I can tell you about the grass is greener concept is that like, it's all a mirage, right? Like, it's all, everybody struggles. Not everybody's just like living it up, and then like everybody's got stuff. So if we can just strip that out to begin, then you can go, okay, well, do I really? So DeAnna's teaching online. I want to teach. She looks like she's successful. I want to be successful. Well, what is she doing exactly? So she's running, series. Well, do I have the time, energy to do that? Do I have the money to invest? So starting to break down, why does she look successful? What is it that I'm drawn to? Those things. And then you can work it back again. Same thing, like the big goal and pull back. And if you answer those questions, you might end up with no, I actually don't want to do that. I thought I did, but I don't really. Or maybe you do. And now you have actual actionable steps, which I know we're going to talk about more later, that get you to the thing that you want, that you recognized in an outside source. Like, there's nothing wrong with being inspired by something else that somebody has, but wanting to take what someone has isn't always the best motivation, right? And it doesn't ever, when does it work that way? Like, please tell me. Like, it doesn't actually do that.
And if you're comparing it to somebody's online life, girl, it's probably not the same.
Oh, what you talking about willies. Like there's nothing about that is entirely accurate. So making sure that you're coming at things from a really present, grounded mindset. Like there is nothing wrong with looking out and going, wow, I would like some of these things. But then looking at like, how does that work in your life? Because your life is yours and theirs is theirs. And most often, and I'll drop the first like Alex bomb. So my husband, Alex, is seriously, it's disgusting how this dude can manifest. If he says he wants something, like boom, he accepts nothing less. But what he says is it's about sacrifice. So are you willing? Do you want X bad enough to sacrifice? And there will be a list. It could just be your time. It could be your dedication for study. It could be sacrifice doesn't have to be like blood. Like it could be a variety of things, you know, but that kind of sometimes comes down, makes or breaks a goal really being realistic for you is what is it going to take kind of a thing. Yeah.
We'll get into that soon, but that's exactly it. So one of the things that you said was really, really important when we were talking about if you're admiring what someone else has, and so you're thinking like that should be your goal, I want you to evaluate why you think that's going to make you happy. And that's something that you really have to dig down deep and be vulnerable with yourself on. Is it because they look like they're more popular, or because they look like they're getting more opportunities, or because they, you know, and then like back up and look at it at yourself and say like, well, why do I feel the need to be that way or to do that thing, you know? And that often will take you down a different path, and not that goal, but maybe some kind of new hobby or new habit or new, you know what I mean? So you have to really evaluate the why. Like, what is your motivation around that specific goal?
And I wrote something down. I'm so excited you said that because it emphasized it. Your why gets you to your values.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So backing it up lets you know, does this desire, and again, we're using the example, right, of looking out and then needing to look in, but it's the, why do I want this? Why am I inspired by this? Why am I drawn to this? And really asking yourself the tough questions and sitting with it will help you identify your core values. I can't tell you how many times I've looked out, and we'll just use, you know, my career as the example, and thought I wanted what this dancer had or what that dancer had. And then the more I asked myself and backed up the question, I realized it didn't align with who I wanted to be or what I thought. It didn't mean that what they were doing was bad, but it just wasn't necessarily for me. And that gets you closer to your authentic self and closer to the goals you really want versus what the media basically is thinking and telling you what you think you should have. You know what I mean? So I love that. The why gets you to values. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I love that too, Lacey. I know it's like, I want to make six figures, but why? Well, because that's the thing that everybody's supposed to try to get to. It's like,
right. Or I'm not successful until I do. Like I've got some major money like tied up, and that's one of my lifetime goals is to have a better relationship with money, and what it makes or breaks about me. Like, am I not successful because I'm not at that number? Do you not take me seriously? Unless and I've had to like talk about some shadow work. Like you sit in that and like ask yourself the tough questions. And sometimes I go, no, that's BS. And other times I go, I should work on that.
It does bring out a lot of shadow work. When you look at the motivation, basically to kind of summarize this section, when you look at the motivation behind why you are creating the goal, you are going to learn a lot about yourself and some different areas of yourself that you may need to work on that have nothing related to the goals at all.
Yeah. You know? And let that come forward, I think, too. I think goals are just such a awesome way, if you're really present in it, that bring you forward into how you want to interact with the world. Like, because you're addressing like values, and then because it comes from like way down in there, guys, like it comes from and normally it's like a little voice, it's like hey, we would like a blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, no, I have things that I have to do that society says. And it's like, but we think this is important, you know, and let that voice get bigger, then you will, and it sounds like I'm trying to sell a book, but I swear I'm not. Like, then you will attract those things because it's real. Like, when you bring forward your authentic voice and the things that you value, then those individuals that value that, those situations that value that, you know, I read like a little silly meme or whatever about like, if you're always thinking of a red car, you'll see red cars. If you're thinking about it, yada, yada, then you're going to see that. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, if you bring that forward, then suddenly it's not that it wasn't there all the time. It's just there is a sea of opportunity, but we have to train ourselves, allow ourselves, give ourselves the permission to see it and interact with it.